I traveled all the way to Shanghai, China to check out the Byton's unveiling of their brand new sedan, but also we got a tour of their factory, which is in Nanjing, and their headquarters, that's also in Nanjing. I mean, this is a fully blown operation now, and they also just announced their second round of funding at $500 million. So they're going full force. The first time I introduced you guys to this brand, it was at CES in Vegas, where they unveiled the SUV, the original SUV, and it's going in production next year. But today they unveiled the sedan, and it looks pretty damn good. There are a lot of really cool things that I find about that sedan. As a matter of fact, I might be switching my reservation from the SUV to the sedan. Earlier today, I talked to their president and their CEO, two different people, Daniel and Carsten, and they shared a lot of interesting information with me, their vision about the company. So here's what they had to say. All right, so last time I saw you was in Milan for your unveiling of the SUV to the European audience. Anything happened since then? Anything interesting?
Actually, a lot of things happened.
Oh, really? Okay, well, please do tell.
In April, we had our China premiere here on Beijing Motor Show, which was a really great success. Yesterday, we had the grand opening of our Nanjing headquarters of Byton here. And today will be a great day because here, the one day before Asia CES is starting in Shanghai, we are going to unveil our second concept car, which will be a modern and very beautiful interpretation of a sedan.
I'm excited about that. Tell me a little bit about it. What to expect, and any specific? I know it's a prototype, but any specs? Anything you can tell us about that?
Yeah, yes, we basically want to send three messages by showing this car. First of all, it's built on our technical platform. It shares the same platform like the SUV. The second message is, this might sound a bit arrogant, but we really mean it. We are claiming design leadership in automotive industry from now on. You will see it's a very modern concept, but still very beautiful. And we think that we can take design lead in automotive industry towards the future. And then there's a third message. This car will be the first one coming to the market with level 4 autonomous driving from our side. And if you do level 4 autonomous driving, then you need sensor technology, you know, radars and cameras, and unfortunately laser technology, lidars as well. Now you have to decide, are you going to hide these elements, integrate them in a car, not showing them, or do you want to use them as design elements? And we decided for the later approach. So we are going to show a brave interpretation how an integration, an active integration using sensors as design elements for an autonomous driving car could look like.
That's interesting, and so I've heard that it's going to have some sort of a interesting thing of a bunch of sensors coming out and then going back in. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so you need some specific geometrical positions for sensor technology in the car. So the lidars have to be as high as possible. So you will see an integration in the roof, and on the side there are some cameras and lidars as well, which can be hidden when the car is not in autonomous driving mode, and they come out if it's in driving mode, in autonomous driving mode. So the car shows to the environment, I'm autonomous now.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just so you can use the sensors, it's just so everybody else knows that you're just a better driver at this point.
Definitely.
Now, I remember when you guys unveiled the SUV, you just kind of forgot to name it. We just kept calling it SUV. But now you actually went through the Car Baby Names book and actually named the SUV and the upcoming sedan. Tell us what they are.
Yeah, so we had to come up with a naming scheme for our cars. We decided that all the Byton cars will be bytes, coming from bytes on wheels, Byton. And then we select some letters to do it, and the first one, the SUV, will be our M-Byte in the market. And the concept we show, it's a K-byte concept. So a potential sedan would be a K-byte then in the future.
Now, is this for kilobytes and megabytes? Are you trying to spell something? What's happening? What's the concept behind it?
This I leave up to your fantasy. We want to create an exciting name coming from digital industry, and this is the names we choose.
It's never good to leave anything to my fantasy, to be honest with you, but all right. Well, so let's talk about the factory. So I actually got a tour of the factory yesterday, and we saw the humongous I don't know if it's like a neighborhood or a space where you're building the rest of it. Tell me a little bit about it. Tell me about some of the timelines and why this is going to be it. This is going to be where you guys are going to be able to actually produce cars for years and decades to come.
Yeah, so the whole factory will have, at least in its first completion state, then 300,000 units as capacity. We just now in April concluded our trial shop. This is a line where prototypes can be built, not out of a serious production process. It's hand built, but on a prototype line. We built our first prototypes already. I think 5 are finished now. Unfortunately, the life will be very short because we are going to destroy them tomorrow.
Oh, I thought because I was going to get a couple of them. All right.
So we are going to have our first crash test actually tomorrow. Very exciting moment.
Which one are you not crashing the pink one that I like, are you?
No, it's a white one, the number one we did.
That's fine. All right. So you mentioned that, you guys come from a lot of established, your top management team, and a lot of your just employees come from established companies like BMW, Tesla, Nissan, and so forth. Talk a little bit about what is it that you guys are able to do here in your own startup that you maybe were a little bit limited or not able to do with the brands that you worked for before?
Yeah, to summarize it in short words, you can realize your dream here. You can work on something, you can move forward, you can realize things in a short period of time, which you can never do in a big corporate organization.
You might say it's time to be.
It's time to be, yes. Personally, after 20 years of experience in this industry, after 20 years working for great companies and great brands, it's a very, very outstanding experience.
Now, let's talk just general about electric cars. I think we talked about it in Milan a little bit. How do you see just overall fighting the stigma, I guess, that electric cars still have? Are people, not ready to adopt them in many cases, or a little afraid of them, or just don't know enough about it? How do you think Byton can, in some ways, change that?
I think the time that people are afraid of electric cars, they are over. Tesla did a really great job in this area, establishing a premium brand for electric cars.
You sure? Have you been to Texas lately?
Okay, there are some things happen all the time.
A little bit of work to do still, yeah.
It's a little bit of work to do, but in general, no one will doubt that an electric car can be something exciting.
How can you maybe learn some lessons, and not just from Tesla, from other manufacturers, and maybe bypass some of the production issues, especially this being your very first car?
With all respect, and don't get me wrong, but I don't have to take lessons to learn anything from Tesla or others when it comes to production. After my 20 years of experience from one of the most premium OEM car companies of the world, I really know how to produce cars in volume. The lesson which you can learn from looking to other startup companies: don't try to reinvent what is working well today in automotive industry. Don't try to reinvent the car. If you try to reinvent manufacturing processes for cars, which reached a very high level of maturity today after 130 years of this industry, it's not surprisingly that you will fail.
So it looks like you guys have everything in place. You have a factory going. You got now a second car really in your fleet. You got the second round of financing, which will take you to production. But you're still missing, really, if you think about it, one very important part, which is, are you going to get a Twitter account and tweet every day to us about all of this?
I think we are playing a lot of social media accounts already. To be honest, I'm not sure if we have a Twitter account, but I will take this back to Henrik and ask him. And if it's not in place, maybe it's a good idea to...
Well, so I just talked to Carsten, and he is the CEO of the company, but you're a president. Yeah. That's not very common to have two different people as a CEO, as a president. Tell me, what's the concept behind it, and how does it make the company better?
Oh yeah, actually in China it's quite common, I mean, to have this separation. So basically both of us, we were co-founders of the company, and I think there was a very natural way to combine our strengths. And to be honest, this was also the inspiration for us to start this whole journey, because when I met Carsten, we were colleagues at BMW, but we didn't know each other too well. So 2.5 years ago we met again and we talked about this idea. And I mean, he spent 20 years with BMW, and he's one of the most seasoned engineers I've met and a very passionate car guy. And he went into EVs very early, so he really understood about this whole process of building a purpose-built EV platform. Yeah, and my career is quite different. I spent also like more than 10 years with BMW, but I studied in China like 20 years ago, so I have a childhood passion for China. It's become my second home base after Germany, and I worked in the sales and marketing for many years with BMW and the product planning and the strategy, and of course I speak Chinese for so many years being here. I spent nearly half of my life here now.
提供本地化的自动驾驶功能和体验。
And when we met, we had this great idea, I mean, to combine our strengths. I mean, to do a startup out of China, which is currently the best place to do that, because the capital market is there, the government support is there, the market is there, the innovation is there.
Better commute for you.
Yeah, yeah, and also and do that for the world. I mean, to do it on a global base, going it out to the US, going out to Europe, and make this kind of very unique setup with 3 different locations, doing our high-tech in Santa Clara, doing our traditional design and platform concept in Germany, and integrating everything in China, and doing our manufacturing hub in China. So, and the way how we split the responsibility is pretty simple. Carsten, as a CEO, he's also the CTO of the company, so he's doing everything related to R&D, supply chain and industrialization of the car, and me being the president. And he spends more of his time in the States and in Germany, and I, as a president, spend most of my time in China.
So you're saying the key to a successful relationship is distance, is what you're saying?
That's a good point.
Are you targeting North American launch in 2020?
That's right.
Okay, so by then, I don't know if you heard, we have this president, and the relationship between China and the U.S. As far as trade is concerned and tariffs can be very different by then. How do you calculate that in, or can you really calculate that in, and still be kind of on track with all of your plans to launch in North America?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really comment on the current situation too much, but I'm a firm believer in...
Nobody can.
Yeah, but I'm a firm believer in, let's say, globalization and integration. And I think China did a move the last 2 months now to open up the foreign investment restrictions in the automotive area. So now companies can do 100% wholly owned manufacturing. They lowered the import tariffs. And I think that's a good signal. Yeah.
So let's talk about the pricing of the car. You guys are targeting $45,000 price tag. And the car has all of these amazing features. I know it's the best base price, and I'm assuming I know you're not announcing the price for your sedan yet. I can't imagine it being that far off. How is it possible? A lot of people are saying, if they're comparing this to, a Model X, Tesla Model X, or I-Pace, how is it you're able to get this done in almost half the price?
We made our car designed also for cost from the beginning. So we had this very clear target costs, and it doesn't mean designed for cost you cannot make a great premium car. It just means that you're very conscious about which areas of the car you use new technology, like our screen and UI. That is brand new, and we definitely invest more than other cars. But there's parts in the car where we use existing, very solid, very mature, very safe technology at very affordable prices, working together with some of the best suppliers.
Well, this has been an amazing week here in Shanghai. We are going to be moving on to CES Asia, which will have quite a few other car companies representing their brands and presenting hopefully new things, but Byton is definitely taking the main stage. Carsten is doing the keynote speech at 4 o'clock tomorrow, one of the bigger keynote speeches here. As a matter of fact, Byton is probably the leading brand, at least the biggest brand here that's trying to make the biggest splash. So we're going to be at their booth. That will be a separate video. But yeah, today it's been a really, really good day. A lot, as you can see, a lot of hard work and many years of all of this different people from different brands kind of came together to make both of these cars. And I'm looking forward to, see if they can actually realize their dream, go in production, bring the car to North America and Europe, and be yet another innovative electric car brand that we can all, enjoy and use their products and kind of, push everybody forward into the electric future. All right, that's it for me here in Shanghai, China. I will see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.